I do too. Let me see my sleeves. This is the warmest. Oh my God. I've been staring at your sweater as we've been talking. I cannot get over it.
I love it. It's freezing.
Gorgeous. Oh yeah. I think we're at -1 now and it's 12:30.
Oh, well, the problem is my office is set at 90 on right now it's at 70, but it was at 66. I have on flannel pants and this. Now I'll start boiling soon because the door is shut. So the greenhouse effect will take.
We can't even start talking about greenhouses because I've been watching gardening videos all morning.
You need one.
I do. But okay. In IKEA, they have small ones that you can bring into your house and put in like a southern facing window. So I want to buy 2. Next time we get paid, I want to buy 2 of them and have them both in our southern facing windows and just kind of test out the waters. They're like $15 each.
I think you need them on your back deck. You need one up back there.
We get terrible lighting back there though.
Oh, okay. You need it in the correct spot. The one like Jacqueline has.
I know that's endgame.
Are they outrageous?
I mean, we're living on a pretty tight budget these days. So for us, yes. But I mean, I think generally speaking, no.
Yeah, they look manageable. I don't know.
And I'm also curious to know if hers is an actual greenhouse or if it's a cold frame, because there's a difference.
I would message her.
I will. All right. Well, should we start?
Start.
Hi, everyone, and happy 100th episode.
Only took us 5 years, but we did it.
How is it
5
possible?
years.
We averaged 20 episodes a year. That is ridiculous.
If we were lucky.
I'm talking average.
Well, because think back, we used to do every 2 weeks for a long time.
That's what I mean. If you average it out, that's what it comes out to. But I feel like the bulk of our videos were in those first 2 years. And then since then, it's just been like a quarterly podcast.
All right. You had babies. You had babies who are now 4 and 2.
How? Because I still feel like the person that was sitting there that didn't know she was pregnant, then you knew. Do you remember that podcast where you were like, I knew you were pregnant then? And I had no idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I still feel like I have 20-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have one. Well, I have one for about another month.
Well, I'll tell you what, all of us still think we're 20. So it works.
But I know. It's time. I was watching someone that said the same thing, like time is crazy. And it's crazy for everyone now. Like when I was your age, I didn't think time was flying. I was like, when will this end? 3 toddlers and.
See, and it's so funny because for me right now, time is flying.
It's everyone.
Yeah. Like it's one of those things where I'll have something on the calendar, like, perfect example. I get acupuncture at the beginning of every month. And every time I walk through that door, I think, oh my God, an entire month is gone. How did that? I was just here. Like how? But like they say, the time old adage, the days are long and the years are short. I think that rings so true. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, though, a lot of times I wake up and then I turn around and it's 4:00 and it's like, okay, time to start dinner and get the girls to bed.
Mm-hmm. I know. Same. But can I tell you, January is such a slog.
Such a slog. I keep thinking like, oh yeah, like February is like next week or like next week.
I've never this is new for me. And it's like, I swear someone's up there playing with our minds when it comes to like time. Just saying that out loud.
Let's just say about life, not just time. Right now, life feels like a big game.
I know.
Big game of chess.
I know. But we're at 100.
We're at 100. So hang on, before we do anything more, we cannot go this episode without saying, my name is Chelsea.
My name's Sue.
I am the daughter mother.
I'm the mother grandmother.
And I am from Vermont. Or no, I'm not from Vermont. I'm living in Vermont.
And I live in Connecticut.
I wanted to make sure that on our 100th episode, we paid homage to all of the other introductions that we've done.
Thank you. Yes. And yesterday I was watching Tanis and her husband, Tanis Fiber Arts. They were doing a Q&A. And I thought, we have to do that. We've never done it before. And so I texted you and said, what do you think about putting a thread up asking people to ask us questions? And then it hit me, we're on our 100th episode. So I feel like it's like the stars all aligned.
Yes, it's like a perfect introduction for anyone who just started following us. It's a reintroduction for anybody that watched us in the past and maybe is getting back to podcast watching at this new start of the year. It's kind of a nice just refresh.
I agree.
Because if we were to have looked at these questions 2 or 3 years ago, they'd be wildly different answers, I think, for most of them.
Yes, and I took a quick glimpse at them. You did too. They're fun questions. Like, I guess I didn't know what would come at us, right? And they all were like fun. Who knows how many we'll actually be able to answer because we can't be here all day.
Right.
But you know what? If there's still a lot of good ones left, maybe we'll do one more, like we'll do a part A, part B, and the next time we get together.
Agreed. So let's consider this part 1, unless we happen to fly through them.
Yes.
But before we get into the questions, I feel like we should at least formally introduce our new colorways.
Yes, we should, because oh my gosh, I love them so much.
So when you first showed them to me, I was like, I'm going to need each of those colors.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you sent me the pictures for the website, I was like, no, you don't understand. Like now. I didn't say now, but I said, whenever you get around to it, if you could ship me up all of those in DK weight, and you were amazing as always. And you shipped them up to me, and in person. And this always is true. Like on the computer screen, they look beautiful, of course, but when you get them in your hands, oh my God.
Well, and these colors this time, they're very vibrant. You show yours.
So I got them all in DK weight because I am obsessively knitting DK weight socks. So I will just show you my latest pair that I bound off is in our Practical Magic colorway. These are the Rye socks by Tin Can Knits. And these are going to be gifted. I'm not going to say to who, because I'm not sure if they watch this podcast, but I'm obsessed with these socks. I can knit them in my sleep at this point. Yes. So this is will fit a size like 7.5 foot. And I knit, just for anybody, because I'm sure you'll be curious, 44 stitches I cast on. I'm using a US size 3 needle all the way through. Classic drop heel. One skein. And I have leftover.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. Because how much yardage is, I don't have a DK weight here.
I think it's 245.
245, yeah.
So I'm planning on using all of these scraps, and I'm going to start a granny stripe crochet blanket with DK weight, because it's my favorite scrappy blanket.
Same.
But anyways, this is why I had Mom send it all in DK weight yarn, because I am just loving it. And I love seeing the colorways knit up. And I forget who you said mentioned this, but the magical thing about your dyeing is it never pools.
I don't know how to make it pool.
And that's the thing. Some people love pooling, some people don't. But for me,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, some of my first sock yarn was Socks That Rock, and it pooled, and I loved it. I don't think I would love pooled. It's not pooling kind of yarn.
No, because there's so many like when you use this like deep blue, like you get all different values of that blue. So if it were to, it might look cool. You never know. But I happen to just love the way that our yarn knits up in a really even speckle.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. Well, thank you. My gosh, such a treat to be able to knit with it. But so that is why I decided all DK weight yarn. So let me show you the one I'm going to cast on first. The only reason I haven't cast these on yet is because I want to do an IGTV episode 2 to get it out to Instagram, where I like really I'll do it now. Yeah, so this is dinner or after dinner mints. Oh my gosh, I thought it was just dinner.
You call it dinner mints, but I had already made the label, so they're after. It doesn't matter.
After dinner mints, and this is like it's it's like pastel without being pastel. It's really vibrant. And I love how subtle the color changes are. I literally cannot wait to see how this knits up. Like, look at the peach next to the seafoam green.
Mm.
Mom, it's like you sent me this picture and I was like, well, that's it. Like, that's my favorite color of this collection.
I think it would make a gorgeous baby sweater, baby blanket.
Would.
Along with, I mean, I don't think it is designed for that, but I think it would work for that really, really well. It just reminds me of after dinner mints. I can taste them.
Me too. Every time you talk about, and I didn't realize they were called after dinner mints.
Well, maybe they're not.
I'm sure they are. I just didn't know that.
I'm not. I could be making that up because you eat them after dinner and they're mints.
I like it. But yes, so, okay. Sorry, I won't do this for every skein because we do not have this much time, but this is my favorite one. This is the one I'm going to cast on first. So now let me show you the other colorways. They blew me away.
I have two favorites. I have the micro sets in front of me.
Oh, okay. So you'll have to show those next. Okay. So next we have chocolate covered cherries, which again, I loved in the photos, but then when you get it, again, it is just so multi-dimensional. I love how that deep maroon kind of cuts right through all the delicate speckles. I really,
It's so
really
funny because in my world, it's just sheer luck.
You are one of the luckiest people I know.
I mean, definitely some of it you can control. And I definitely just have been doing it for so long that I can, but a lot of times those beautiful like blends, like I can't control that. I can only put the dye where I think it might happen. Sometimes it does, sometimes it won't.
Totally.
But I think this is my favorite.
I had a feeling this was good. And honestly, again, it was one of those on screen. I was like, oh, it's really pretty. And then I got it and I was like, oh, wow. This is Skittles.
Skittles.
Oh, so we didn't even mention, so this is all based on the theme of sweet shops. And it's our Valentine collection, Valentine Day. Look at that's Skittles.
Where's this light coming from?
Maybe your higher windows. You know how you have that.
I know you can't escape it.
No, but that's okay.
Be over here though too. Keep talking.
But this is just like, this is your everything speckle. This is your rainbow, delicious goodness where you just get, and do you have your socks there that you knit with it?
Yes, I'm going to show you.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, it's everything all in one. Like, look at that speckled section.
Oh my gosh.
Need my camera to focus and it's
yeah, that's it is Skittles.
Yeah, Skittles.
You have one with a little more blue in it.
Well, and I can also unwind it. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, there's that gorgeous.
Here are my socks.
Oh my God.
These socks. So this is Kay Jones, the crunkled socks.
Yes.
It's a perfect pattern.
For a speckled skein like this, absolutely.
Because it has you can't see the texture as much when you've got it on here. And again, in person, oh my gosh, I know, look at that.
Look at
it is so fun to dye. I will tell you that.
It looks, I mean, these speckled sections, Mom, are just like, and again, like the screen is not even doing it justice.
It's not, because if you could see the amount of speckles that are playing together there, it's unreal.
Oh my God, like look at that. Truly, it's such a work of art. I could sit here and look through every inch of this skein and just be blown away.
So fun.
I love it. Okay. No,
this is another one of my favorites.
I think it was either Paige or Natalie. I can't remember who, but said this is her favorite. And then when I got it, I was like, yep, I get it. I have a little piece of hair on it. This is called Sweet Shop. So it's named after the collection. I am going to unskein, or I don't know if I'll unskein it, but again, the speckles and the choice of colors on this. I can't, really am itching to cast on every single one.
Well, and it's funny because the turquoisey blue can be really, really, really strong. And I was really struggling to keep it this calm and quiet. And I'm so happy with it.
Oh, you nailed it.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Again, when you unwind the skeins, it is just like this speckle. Okay. I'm going to show you my favorite section of speckles. It's when the rusty orange plays directly with that blue
Mhm.
and with that touch of red. You nailed it.
Thank you. It feels so good. Like I am so happy with them. And I wasn't, it was a struggle. It really was. The last two between Christmas vacation and this one, it was really a struggle. Like, oh, I just felt like there was nothing in there. So when they work, and I was super happy with both collections. So when they work, it feels so good. And I love dyeing them. Love dyeing them.
Well, that's such a bonus too, because they've been selling like crazy. So it's nice because we're able to keep the shop stocked without it really being too taxing on you.
Yes, yes. So here they are in the micro sets. I didn't have any of these micro sets, but that's what it would look like. And we are filling the shop. I have not been doing a lot with Cozy Toes. I'm just not, I don't have enough capacity to do another base, but we are filling the shop with Cozy Toes for all of those colors. So there will be plenty in there. I just keep looking at all the bear and I'm like, I've got to get this dyed up. And these would be beautiful in Cozy Toes.
Stunt. Like, can you imagine? Like, I could picture hats in all of these, especially for the girls, like to do a Skittles hat for Lily. I think she would love a Skittles hat.
Yes, like a Musselburgh. Is that what you call them?
I think it's called Musselburgh is the correct.
Yes.
No, but I know a lot of people say Musselburgh.
Yes. This sun is going to start being that. Actually, it might go up higher. It's not coming down. It's going up. So I think we're going to be safe.
I think you'll be good.
Yeah.
So yes, those Cozy Toe skeins will be in the shop if you're watching this now. I'll make sure that those are up before we upload. But yes, so we just wanted to formally introduce you and really give you a really close-up look of all of these colorways, because we haven't really introduced a yarn line on a podcast in a long time.
In a long time. Well, because we haven't been able to get on here that often. It feels like it's getting more manageable though. I feel like the girls are getting at different ages. It just feels like we're able to, and again, it's like having nothing set in stone and just going, hey, do you think it could work this week? And yes.
Totally.
Yeah.
So yes, the stars have been lining up. So that was so fun. I feel like it's so nice to talk about the yarn together, because it's typically like, here they are. And I'm typically like, oh my God, they're amazing, because they're always amazing. And then we load them up and then we send out a newsletter. And this is just so much more fun. It gives you
an up close and personal, which honestly, if you aren't signed up for our newsletter, sign up. It is worth it to be on that newsletter. It really is. And it's not because, oh, things go away really fast. Like that isn't our model for the shop anymore. But you're going to miss things because we don't always get it where it needs to be, but it always gets in a newsletter.
Well, and also, I feel like the mini skein sets are the things that go the fastest. And those are always the things where I see in comments where it's like, are you going to be making more of X, Y, or Z?
Yes.
Always send emails if that's the case, because we can certainly do our best to accommodate. But the newsletter is just a guaranteed way that you will know about these things as soon as they're in the shop.
Yes. And we are out of minis. There was a mini set with these, and it depends. It won't happen next week. Next week is crazy busy with other things, but it will happen after that, maybe, if we have enough people looking for them. So don't hesitate, say you're looking for them, because if 10 people do, it's like, oh, I should really get those done.
Totally. Yeah. It just kind of like, however many requests we get for it, bumps it up the queue.
Yeah,
for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Well, before we do anything else, can we talk about what we're wearing? Because I feel like we'll get questions, because your sweater is literally, I cannot stop staring at it.
I don't know the name again. Is it Charles
Pullover by
Charles Pullover, Michelle Wang.
Yes.
It was the fastest. I could knit this 5 more. I actually would love to knit it again. So what I did was, I can't remember how it was knit. Bottom up. Yeah, it was all sewn. No, it wasn't.
I think it was seamed, wasn't it? I swore you worked that in parts.
I did. I love a seam sweater, I think, except how did I do seams with this?
Can you lift your arm? Can you see any kind of seaming?
I have a seam here. Oh yeah,
Okay.
that would have. Yeah, there's a seam. So maybe it was like saddle shoulders of some sort.
Maybe, yeah, I'm not sure. It's
I don't know.
however
Okay.
it's done. It's a pay for pattern, so we really shouldn't reveal it here anyway.
Yeah, I don't know, but I love it. It's Green Mountain Spinnery. It's Michelle Wang. She is my favorite designer. I don't think we talked about this before. I don't think she's designing anymore. I still follow her. She does makeup tutorials. I love her. She just bought this house that is magnificent. And I just love her. I always hope maybe she's still designing, but doesn't talk about it over there.
Well, I mean, the good thing is she has a pretty extensive backlog of patterns that you can go
She
and
has
look.
enough, exactly. She has enough sweaters that I could make the rest of my life.
Did she
She
design
actually-
for Brooklyn Tweed?
She designed for Brooklyn Tweed. And then remember, you weren't with me. I think you had just had Lily at Vogue Knitting Live. She was in the Mayak booth. And then she also had a new book that I got over at Nitty City's booth.
Okay.
Yeah, that was information no one needed. But anyways,
Oh,
she has
no.
a book that I have to go back and look at. And she did design for Brooklyn Tweed.
So
Maybe
good.
it still does.
Okay.
I have no clue.
Let's talk about the neck, the turtleneck.
Do you like it? Because I'm
Mom.
not.
Oh my
Okay, you
God.
do. Is it flattering?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, it's really huge.
Yes.
I do not have anything on underneath this, like a little tee or anything. It is so cozy warm.
Well, that is I mean, I think we might have gotten a different base. I can't remember. Oh no, that's a different one. Never mind. But
You got yarn at the same time that I got this.
yes, but that was my yarn for my Little Twigs by Melody Hoffman, which I still haven't blocked, which needs to be happening next. But I was thinking of my Weekender, which I finally blocked and woven the ends, and I've been wearing the crap out of.
Love that.
But
I need that.
I love it, but I can wear it to close to my skin too, and it's comfortable. It's like a
It's so
sweatshirt.
weird. And these are the sweaters you wear on days like today, and you're not cold. It's just so, I love it so much. I love it. I thought it was going to be a lot longer,
Oh,
but-
Mom.
but I like it.
Oh my God, it is perfection.
And look at how it fits me. My gauge, it's so funny because I make such large sweaters
Mhm.
and they always fit me perfect. So I think my gauge is tight. I never thought it was.
It has to be.
It has to be.
Because you're not a large human.
Well, I'm not a tiny human, but I'm not a large human.
Yeah.
And I do 2X.
Yeah, you definitely have a tight gauge then.
Yeah, so I must, but I love it. I love it.
Oh my God, I can't say enough about it. It's like, I truly can't rip my eyes away from it.
And isn't the color fantastic?
Perfect.
I love it. I do love it. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So you finished blocking sweaters though, that we need to see.
I did. And before we go on though, I am wearing no frills out of our T for 2 colorway paired with our vanilla bean mohair. And I picked this morning because we were at -12 when I woke up, and there is nothing like a layer of mohair to insulate your heat. So that's
T
what I'm
for
wearing.
2 has been a very popular colorway for us.
I love it.
I do too. And it was one of those that's in our romance. I love our romance collection. I love that collection. And that was in it.
Yeah.
I feel like we should revive it. These collections, you put your heart and soul in and they kind of come and go and you forget about them. That's a really good one to revive, that collection.
Well, because there's such I feel like for me, there's such standard colors. Like when I'm looking for something, I always reference that collection first.
Worn leather is one of my favorites.
It's so good. Well, that's what I knit my So Faded cardigan out of, was all romance collection.
Right, the wedding cake and oh my God.
Buttercream frosting. What was the other ones? Not cinnamon sticks.
Nope, not cinnamon sticks.
Antique lace.
Oh, antique lace. That's
And
a
then-
really pretty color.
And then worn leather. I haven't worn it at all this year because it's been so dang cold that I've needed that extra warmth in the front, but it's one of my favorites for the colors.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, talk about favorites.
Let me show you. So these are the 2 sweaters that I podcasted with, and I was like, look at them, they're done, they're not blocked, the ends aren't woven in. And then I was chatting with my friend Lacey, who we love, and she was like, just do it. Like, just
I
start.
know.
Because once you start, and she was 100% right, once you start, you're not going to stop.
And do you even realize how much space in your brain they were taking up?
So much.
That's the biggest piece for me. It's like, why didn't I just do this 5 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
Because all I've been doing is thinking about how I should.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the worst. It's the worst.
And now not only that, but these are two of my most worn sweaters since I finished. Like, I wear this probably every other day.
Love that.
So this is,
you.
thank you. This is the Stripes by Andrea Mowry. I think I'm going to knit a second one. And this is all out of Stress Knits yarn. I have a project page, I'll link below. We talked about it last episode, so I'm not going to go on and on about it, but this is it, blocked, ends woven in, and worn like crazy.
It's so you.
I love it.
So you. I love it. I love the color choices. I love the patterning of the colors. I love it all.
Thank you. Thank you. I really love it. And just so excited to have it in my closet. And then the other one, which I already gave you a little peek of, it's my Weekender. Again, this is very much a lot like this one, just like a sweatshirt feel, where it's just like, it's cozy, it's comfy. You're not really thinking too much about the fact that you're wearing a hand knit.
Oh my gosh, Chelsea, that is gorgeous.
Thank you. I am
I
obsessed.
don't think I've seen that on you.
Do you want me to try it on?
Sure.
I'll try it on. It is so good.
It's gorgeous. And the yarn is gorgeous.
The yarn is, ooh, oh my gosh, it's so cold. The yarn is one of the things that makes it so yummy. So the boat neck, let's talk boat neck, because I thought it was going to drive me really crazy.
It looks good on you.
But I'm finding that as long as I have something underneath where the color isn't too, I don't know. And so the other thing, I don't love showing straps. Something about like straps bothers me. But if it's just a shirt underneath, like if it's just a block of fabric, it doesn't bother me.
Looks really good on you.
Thank you. I'll let me scoot back so I can show you where it falls. So it's kind of like right at the waist, but it has a lot of really good positive ease.
I love it.
It's very cozy. The sleeves fit me a lot better than I thought. I'm just going to leave this on now than I thought it would.
It feels like, again, high-waisted or a skirt or a jumper would be so, or overalls would look so good with that.
Or let's be honest, sweatpants, because that's what I've been wearing it with.
I just live in them.
I know, me too. But yes, so those are the two. They're blocked. They're done. I just wanted to show them again to let everyone know they're done.
Oh my gosh, you did it. The sun is going to drive me crazy. I'm trying to think how I can. It's okay. Keep going.
Okay, so I think I have two other, I have three other projects I could show. How about I'll pick one of them?
Okay, you're knitting like crazy.
I have two garments that I'm really close to being done with. So maybe I'll show both and just be quick about it because I have project pages.
You are so, I've been, oh, do you finish it?
I am like 15 rows away. I thought, I hoped I would be done by the podcast after this morning, but I'm still about 13
oh my
rows
God.
away. But this is my throw over by Andrea Mowry.
You are like a sweater knitting machine right now.
I don't know what it is about sweaters. They're it right now for me.
It's so good.
It is, because I have quite an extensive closet full of sweaters, which is nice.
Well, and you really need them up there, right?
And I wear them like crazy.
Yeah. You would be so jealous. So Tanis and her husband knit for their kids, and their kids wear them.
Oh, see, that's
for years.
I wish.
Oh, as they were talking about it, I was like, oh my gosh, poor Chels. Like, they live in them. They go off to school every day in a sweater. They have, I know, it was making me sad because I want to knit for the girls too.
It just feels like our talents are being wasted.
I know.
someday. It is funny though, because now when I'll knit something, I'll be like, Lily, look at the sweater. And she goes, you made that all by yourself? And I'll say, yeah, I made it all by myself. For me? No, this is for mommy. Can you make me one? And I always say, okay, what color would you like it? Red, because her favorite color is red. So I'm like, okay, maybe someday I'll knit you a red sweater. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking of knitting like a very vanilla sweater out of this for her.
Maybe, you know what? I know, oh my gosh, so sorry, I forgot her name. Knit More Girls, knits for Genevieve, and Jasmine
Okay.
has always knit for her kids, and they're part of the process, and they love everything. They wear hand knits everywhere they go. And I'm like, what are we doing wrong?
I mean, they'll wear hats.
They do wear hats, and I loved seeing them in their hats.
And Lily's the one that you made for me, the Michelle Wang one with the fluffy pom-pom.
Yes, she wears that one.
Quadri.
Quadri. I made like 9 of them. They were so much fun. Oh my gosh, I love them.
It's the only hat that she'll wear. The only hat.
Yeah, so we'll get there. Unfortunately, there's a very small window of time where they're going to want them, or you can make them wear them.
And even I didn't even have that window.
No, you didn't even have that. But I mean, where it would be okay for them to wear a hand knit sweater, right?
Right.
We're losing that window. Charlie, we got to work on Charlie.
I have the problem is she's so influenced by Lily. Anything Lily says, she takes to be true. Like she loves scrambled eggs. And this morning I made this beautiful breakfast with my sourdough that I made yesterday with these fresh eggs and this avocado and local bacon. And she'll eat the bread and the avocado. I said, do you want some scrambled eggs? Ooh, eggs are too yucky. Because that's what Lily says.
I know. It's not funny. It's not funny, but it's so funny.
It is. It is funny. But anyway, let's get back on track. So this is my sweater, and then I'm going to show you the other garment. Like I said, all the details are on the project page, or I talk about it a lot more in our previous episode. This other one, Mom, you're going to die. You're gonna.
I not seen it.
I don't know.
Oh, this is your vest. Are you loving it?
I think this is called the holiday. I think it's called the holiday Slipover. It is.
I'm seeing vests everywhere. Well, I've seen 2 or 3.
They're coming back. Either that or they've always been there.
Yeah.
You're
gonna love that.
So it has a neckline kind of like yours. And then from here, I just have to finish a little bit more of the body and then a couple inches of ribbing. And then I think it's like applied ribbing around the armholes and then just the mock turtleneck. So I ran out of yarn, but I got another skein in the mail. I am using Wool and the Gang Rainbow Green in their crazy sexy wool base. I'm not sure if this is focusing on it.
So I wonder if that's the same gauge as our chunky.
I don't know. So I'm using.
It looks very chunky.
US 15. It's very chunky and it's roving. Like it's not even.
So it's 15 and it's that tight. So it might be even chunkier.
It's it's the heaviest yarn I've ever worked with.
It's gorgeous.
Thank you. I can't wait. I'm hoping to have this done very soon because Dolores, my mannequin downstairs, has been wearing it for all of my live streams.
I didn't know that she had a name. I haven't jumped on a live stream in so long.
Oh, it's totally fine. I feel like I've been doing them more frequently than I've been in the
I always
past.
see the notices when you're done.
Yeah, which is fun. Honestly, the replays are just as fun. So it's totally fine. But yeah, we did actually a poll during one of our live streams. So we had people suggest names. Justin typed them into a survey and then everyone got to vote on what they thought. And Dolores was the winner.
Is a good name.
Mm-hmm. So anyways, she's been wearing it and I can't wait for her to wear it after it's been finished because I think she's going to look just darling in it.
I do too. I'm sure of it.
Yep. So now, do you have any knitting you'd like to share?
I don't. I've been stitching like crazy. I have been knitting the socks. I haven't gotten back to my sweater. I really need to.
Which sweater is that?
The one like you're just finishing up.
Throw over. Yes.
I haven't picked it up since last week, but I keep looking at it. My days are just a little too full right now.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, but it's okay.
Okay, well, in that case, should we hop into the Q&A portion?
Let's do Q&A. Are we ready for this?
I think so.
Okay.
Let's get it started. Okay. So this is from Natalie, who is a patron, Knit with Nat. She said, when are you?
Hold on.
That's her
Nat,
yarn in the back.
yarn.
There's your yarn, Natalie.
There's your yarn, Natalie. It's just trying. Okay. I'll ship it out probably by Monday. No problem. It's beautiful.
It really is. I can't wait to see what she makes with it. Okay. She said, when are y'all going to live in the same state? You are both complete when you're together.
Oh,
I feel that way too.
I do too. Hopefully someday.
Hopefully someday. Yes.
Hopefully someday.
It's not off of the table is what we're saying.
Nothing is ever off the table, ever.
We're kind of just letting the universe lead us and
in the direction that it's meant to be. But I have to say, it is getting harder and harder because I feel like the business is growing. And oh my gosh, like if only teleporting was a thing, right? Like if you could teleport down for the day tomorrow just to go clean up the basement. Like, and I don't mean clean up, I mean organize.
I know what you mean, because that's where all of our yarn is stored for anybody that doesn't know that. All of our shops
down there. It's in my brain. We were talking about it before we came on. My brain hurts because I am not an organizer. I am in awe of people that are organized. And it's getting more and more necessary because the business is growing and the space is too small. So you have to be organized. The space I actually work in, this space. So I don't know. Hopefully is the answer.
You could also get our little Kimberly in.
Yes. The thing which I would love, and I have been thinking about that because I am at that point again of going like, I can't manage this.
Well, and she has that organization brain.
She does. The difference for you to do it is, the products, you always have those things of this, maybe if you did it this way, it'll work better.
Totally.
So
totally. Yeah. But yes. So to answer the question, someday.
It is
It
getting harder. I will say that.
Well, I'm sure having the girls grow so fast too does not help. Yeah.
It that piece of it too, and time flying by. There's so much there.
Yeah. It's tough, but someday. Come on, universe. Make it happen.
Yeah. Show us the signs.
Okay, next question is from Jamie. Oh, who is life coach Jamie on Instagram. Do you remember we met Jamie and her husband?
Absolutely. I follow Jamie all the time. I love Jamie.
Me too. She has hi Jamie. She has a life coaching business now, which actually I'll put her Instagram handle down here. It's really great too if you're like a mama or a family person that wants some really good life advice. She also runs her own life coaching program. So definitely check her out. She is so well versed in that practice. So
yeah, I do follow her and I really like her and I like what she says. And yeah,
it's very, very, very valuable, especially in this world right now. So
especially.
Yes. So check her out. But her question was, what is your favorite way to get your knitting mojo back?
I saw this.
I could go on and on about it. So I will
you go.
Okay.
You go. I'll work off of you.
So my favorite way to get my knitting mojo back is to not knit. I know that sounds counterproductive.
So you need the desire.
Yes, because if I am just
taken away, so you want it more. Yeah, I get that.
I give my brain space to kind of explore other creative avenues. So I'll tuck my knitting away and maybe it's as simple as picking up my crochet hook for the next week. Or if fiber is really if it's just the whole yarn world that I'm I need just a break from this medium and from all of that, then I'll grab a sketchbook or I will go and get some plants at my local nursery and play around with that, some affordable ones, or I'll plant some seeds. Or if it's the spring or summer, I'll just spend more time outside in the garden or walking. I need to indulge like that. To me, that's my body saying, I need a break from this medium, but that doesn't mean it needs a break from creativity. It means it needs to like flex that other side of my creative brain and like
Mhm.
kind of explore where else I can apply that creativity, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
And then once that desire starts creeping back in, what I like to do, well, there's two things. It kind of depends on what your preference is as a maker. Either go stash diving and cast something totally new on, which that's not the avenue that I take, but I could see that being very appealing. What I tend to do is I go deep whip diving. So anything like, even if it's a pair of socks that's half done,
Mhm.
I will get that second sock done. That'll be the first thing that I tackle. And that gives you the process, like you're getting back into knitting by knitting, and then you get an FO much quicker, giving you that satisfaction of like, okay, I'm back, I finished this project. And it just kind of like kick starts it for you after you've had that bit of rest.
Yes.
So those are my thoughts.
It's interesting because I have we have our toes in two worlds. We have the cross stitch world, which you're not a stitcher, but the business is in that world now. And then the knitting world. And what I've seen in the cross stitch world is so often the really serious cross stitchers only cross stitch.
Mhm.
And again, I could be totally wrong. I'm not like, it's just like what I seem to be seeing is people want to be hyper focused on cross stitch. And I go through times where I'm hyper focused on that. And then I'm hyper focused on knitting. And I haven't been spinning, but like spinning is an option. Rug hooking is an option. So I like that what you said about dive into something else, because for me, knitting is a craved hand motion. Right? It's like, it's all about how I use my hands. And so I've been stitching a lot. And all of a sudden, like I need to change my hand motion.
Mm.
I've also been craving rug hooking for that motion. It's really weird. It's really weird. So I think in some ways I always feel cursed that I like so much. But then in other ways, it's such a blessing, right? It like keeps you going in all different directions.
Totally. Well, and not only that, but I think it's important to recognize the creative value that things that aren't necessarily deemed as creative
Uh,
actually hold. Like for me, like homemaking, I am finding homemaking to be such a creative outlet for me,
mhm.
both in the kitchen, in the organization of the space of a home, of like just projects. Like we're redoing our basement right now, and like it's going slow and steady, and we have a small budget, but it is forcing me to think creatively about the space and how I want to use it. And so it's those things that we do as humans every single day that, yes, they probably seem like a slog, but if you allow yourself the space to apply that creative brain to those everyday things, it can really feed you in a different way, I think.
You are 100% spot on, 100%. And because I have a lot of friends that will say, oh, you're so creative. I don't have any creative. And I'm like, you have a beautiful home. You're a fabulous cook. I mean, folding laundry can be creative, right? It's
Oh,
like,
Marie Kondo, hello.
yeah, I mean, I do truly believe everything we do has a creative aspect to it. So you're 100% spot on with that. And
Even parenting,
oh,
I mean, listen,
everything.
in this day and age, parenting is very, very different because we are quarantined. I mean, it's near madness if you look at it from a 10,000-foot view. But if you get in that real groove and you start to apply that creative energy towards parenting, it can be super, super fun
I
for about 5 minutes. I'm just kidding.
Well, and you know what? It's you have to factor in exhaustion there. If exhaustion wasn't a piece of it, and it would be a whole different story. But 100, I honestly don't think of one thing that a person can do that doesn't involve creativity. It's just the gift that we have is we recognize it. So then it
Absolutely.
makes homemaking more enjoyable. I mean, when I'm in the mood to clean the house is one of my favorite things to do, as long as every single human is out of it.
Get out of my space.
You know, but that can be incredibly creative. Like, yeah. So I guess what it is too for me is like the losing your mojo is try not to focus on it. Just kind of go with it, right?
That's
Don't
a much
allow it
more
to over,
succinct way. Yeah.
right? Like don't let it overtake you. Just go with it and say, you know what, I just don't feel like knitting right now. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
Totally.
we are like in this industry and we have times where it's like, yeah, we don't really want to knit.
For me, even video making, like all of my vlogs that I do over on
Oh,
Patreon, like that to me is a huge creative outlet. And that's something that you can do if you have a smartphone, like just start recording little snippets of your day and piece them together. There's free editing software out there. Like that's a really fun way to do it. And, or like something as simple as scrolling through your phone, like the photos on your phone and framing a few new photos of your family and getting them on the wall or on your shelf. Like find those little sparks, you know?
I agree 100%.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that was a fun question.
that was a fun question. Thanks, Jamie.
Thanks, Jamie. Uh, oh, this is a really good question. I'm not sure who it is, but it's Sky Blue Sevens on Instagram. What do you do with the items you knit that don't fit right or you don't fully like?
I don't knit enough items. I have been known to have items that I loved at one point and don't anymore. And I will give them to the Goodwill and they're really beautiful, but I figure somebody will love it. And I know some of my first sweaters that I really wore. We're not the type of people that like save things that we don't want.
Totally. Totally.
So I feel like if I knew someone that wanted it, or
I have a couple of your hand-me-down sweaters.
yes, I have given you some.
Yep.
Yep.
And I love them. I will do the same thing. I've donated hand knits like from my early days where like I knit them and they fit me just a little too tight, or like the shawl wasn't long enough to actually like fit comfortably around my neck. And I've donated those because for a little, at the time I didn't have kids. So for a little kid, a shawl that's too small or didn't block out just right, like if you donate, and again, they're hand knits, like
They're
it's
hand
not the
knits.
end of, yeah,
Yeah, and why not? The Goodwill is, I have a Goodwill story that is so heartwarming that and so I really have a whole different outlook on the Goodwill. Like I want to bring good things there for
same.
people to have if they need them. And I'll never forget, I had a box of, I don't know, like remember the Boyd's Bears? Remember all those little,
Yes. I remember, I
I,
recognize the name, but I can't picture them for
yeah,
some
I
reason.
think when you were a little girl, you had a collection
Okay.
and I just was like, you know what? I'm going to bring them to the Goodwill because I don't know what to do with them. And I don't like to throw anything away
Right.
that somebody could. And I thought, who would want these? And so I pull up, it's a Sunday morning, and this little lady says to me, she was there, and she goes, would you mind if I looked at your stuff? I was like, oh, absolutely, go for it. You know, whatever. I don't think it was open yet.
Yeah.
So I get back in my car and I'm going to drive away, and she's waving and she holds up two of the things, like the Boyd's Bears, with the biggest smile on her face. Like she just found a treasure for herself. So I love that story so much because you know what? They were sitting in a closet for years, and here this woman got so much joy out of something that was just packed away for no good reason. So I like to bring things that are nice to the Goodwill.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I
I
don't
love
look at
that.
it as like horrifying that I would bring it to the Goodwill. I think it's a great place to donate things when you don't want them anymore.
It's hard to keep that that open-minded perspective that like the thing that you overlook 100 times a day could mean something so much to someone else because you've already relegated it and defined it as like garbage in a
No
sense.
value. Yeah,
Right.
like what am I going to do with these? And I'm telling you, I will never forget the look on her face, the joy, the gratitude over it. It was just, and I just remember going, ah, like I was so happy for her. So yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, that
so
is so sweet.
yeah, so quite often I do. That's where I bring things I don't want anymore.
I've definitely donated too. I've done either Goodwill or we have this more of a local spot here that we do. It's right up the road from us. It's called Resource or Restore or something like that. Um, and other things I've known to let sit.
Yeah.
Like that's not something I've focused my energy a lot on. Yeah, I don't have a great answer for it other than donating to the Goodwill or a shelter in your
Honestly, before I should say that for like hand knit sweaters or something like that, I would donate them to the homeless shelter before, because they don't have to pay for them and they are needed and used. So I
totally.
think that is usually my first choice when it comes to like something like that.
Yeah.
Mostly for the warmth factor.
Yeah. Yeah. That being said, though, something I've never done, but I know a lot of people do, you can frog a fully finished garment or shawl or pair of socks and save that yarn for something else. Like I have never done it. So I don't know the process. I don't know any of that, but I know it is something you can do. I would say if you search on YouTube, how to repurpose yarn from a fully knit sweater or something. I actually know people that go to Goodwill and find
Find
sweaters
them. Yep.
for
Yep.
the yarn. So definitely don't discount that either. If it's something where like yarn is a really valuable asset to you and you spent a lot of money on that yarn, do what you can to get it back so that you can repurpose it into something that you will love and wear.
Yeah, I agree. I'm too lazy for that.
Me too. Me too. And because and because we are yarn dyers and we have such easy access to yarn, like to us, the cost and the value of the yarn isn't necessarily a huge factor when considering it. So it's just kind of nice, I think, for us to pass those garments on to someone who would want them.
Yeah.
But everybody's situation is different. So
I agree.
okay, let's see. What's the next question? Oh, this is a big question. Loving Knitting asks, what are your dreams amidst this crazy pandemic?
Oh, wow.
That we could talk about that for the rest of the episode.
Forever.
I mean, I don't know if we're talking about business or personal, or I guess we could do a little of both, because I think we have a few, I don't know if we call them dreams, but goals. Well, no, I guess you'd call them dreams, right?
Yeah. And honestly, for the business, any craft business, which I don't like that word, but any business where they might be back.
That's
we need now. Okay. Any business where you're supplying things to make during times like this always soar. We're so fortunate in that way, because people are stuck at home.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just as simple as that. The only thing I think about as far as the pandemic goes and the effects on our lives, I cannot wait till we can be together as a family. We have not been together as a family, all of us in one place.
It's always been one of us has been missing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Even Christmas, we weren't able to be with Jake because he works in a gym, and the culture is they don't wear masks in the gym.
Right.
And so we weren't able to be with him. I never thought we would be in a place where we couldn't be together.
Mm-hmm.
That just never, and our big thing is the girls. We need to keep them safe. We're all vaccinated. We're all doing what we need to do to be safe. But the ripple effect right now is unidentifiable, right? So we have to do what's best for the girls. So my dream is they're vaccinated and we can be together as a family. This summer, I think we will be able to be together as a family because the numbers will shift. That's my dream. That's all I think about, is just casually going back and forth between all of our homes and not thinking, where have you been this week? Have you been with anyone that's been sick and blah? So that's my dream. Yeah.
I think you couldn't have said it better. I think that's, and like you said, we never really thought there would ever be a world where we couldn't just be together.
I could envision a world where this was happening, but not the fit. And of course, it makes complete sense that families couldn't be together, but that never entered my mind ever.
Right.
That I would not be able to be with you guys ever.
Right.
It's quite horrifying to think about.
Well, and that's again why I don't remember if we said this while we were recording. I don't think we did, but it's like we have to stop behaving as if this is a normal world, because it's not yet. And normal, like you said, is such a loose term, but it's like there's still so much going on. And
There's
especially, yeah,
there's so much going on, and we have two tiny humans that aren't protected.
right. And that's the biggest thing. That's the
That's
biggest thing
the only thing that I think about. It's like,
right. Because we could still be very safe going out, seeing each other. Like truly the only thing keeping us apart at this point in this
is the
pandemic
girls
is the fact,
become vaccinated.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And
So
I
my
said,
dream is they be vaccinated, as I just hope it happens soon. Because it's going to be a longer process too. It's not going to be like, oh, you're vaccinated, we can do whatever we want. There's a process you have to go through, which we've all been through. But it's coming. It's this isn't meant to be doom and gloom. This is
no,
it. There's so much hope, and it is coming. But boy, I never thought we'd be in this
yeah,
ever.
yeah. So our dream collectively is that the girls have a little bit of protection so that we can breathe a little bit easier, I think.
Yes, I agree.
That's
I
our
know.
dream.
That's our dream.
Let's see. That scarf lady asked, Chelsea, what are your practical tips for finding time for knitting with two littles? So, and I think you taught me this right when I started knitting, always have your knitting with you. Don't go anywhere without your knitting, even if it's 5 feet in the other direction in the same room. You bring that knitting with you.
Yep.
You bring it with you. You pick projects that are easy to pick up and put down at a moment's notice. So lots of stockinette, lots of garter, lots of socks. What else can I say? I would say, and this is much easier said than done, especially in the beginning, but now Justin and I have found a really good rhythm where make sure you carve out time for yourself if you are able. I don't know your living situation or anything like that, but I'm lucky that I have a partner that works from home. We both require time alone during the day because we are 24/7 with these two little humans. So, I get an hour to sometimes 3 hours a day where Justin is with them exclusively and I can exercise or a lot of times knit and watch podcasts and just kind of like zone out. So if you have a partner, that could be something fun to really talk about and see how you can schedule time for yourself. When it was just Lily, I would wake up an hour before she would wake up, sometimes 2 hours, depending on how late she slept. So going to bed a little earlier, getting up a little earlier, or if you're more of a night owl, extending your night a couple of hours. It's tough. It's hard. That's the only thing that you're going to hear that's going to make sense is that it's really, really hard, but it's not impossible.
It's really hard. What I remember too is it's okay to be knitting. It's okay to be stitching.
Huge.
Like to teach your children that this is what you need right now. I always did it like while you guys were running around, and between that, to me, it was like teaching and independent play was so important. And then the other thing is making the time, just figure, because you need it. Like for me, it was like it wasn't a choice. It was like I had to find and make the time for myself or I wouldn't be a good mother. It was part of my self-care in order to be a good mom. So yeah.
Absolutely. I think that, what was the first thing? Oh, no, letting them know that it's important. And I know sometimes like I will sit on the couch and if they're playing independently, like you said, like I'll be knitting in front of them and like they are aware that like this is my work. So like be like, and if they want to play, it's like, okay, I'll put down my work for 10 minutes and we can go play, but then I'm going to come back and sit. And then what I like to do is if I do sit down and knit and they still want to be playing with me, I'll say like, okay, let's play doctor. Mommy's knee hurts, mommy's foot hurts, and mommy's ankle hurts. So I can sit there and knit, still talk with them, still engage in the play, but not be, do you know what I mean? Like not have to have my hands in it.
Absolutely. That was my thing. I think it was like, it was always talking to you guys. Like it felt like it was just part of how I could manage doing exactly what you just said. The main time that I would put everything down and stop everything is if you brought me a book.
Mhm.
I would drop everything to read a book to any of you.
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't know what that was, but it was like, nope, I will, I'll put it down. And I mean, I wasn't sitting and knitting and stitching for hours and hours, but in the time periods, I do think it's important for kids to see that this is what you do right now. And yeah, you do it well. Graham always says, how does Chelsea get so much done? And I said, she makes the time for it.
Well, like you, I have to, especially where we're at in the world now. It's like, I have to.
Yep. In order to be, for me, I always say, in order to be the person I want to be, this is what I need to do.
Totally. Well, and even our pediatrician will, like, the first thing she asks when we have wellness visits, which we just had, was like, how are you taking care of yourself? Because it is so much an important part of your child's experience that you are taking care of, that like that is the first question that is asked.
That's amazing. I don't think mine ever asked me that. That's amazing, because it matters. It matters. I mean, we can all be martyrs in the world if we want to be, but to me, that's the least attractive thing in the world. So my goal is to try not to.
Right. Well, and that's I think a huge thing too, where it's like you're teaching your children how to be. Like, it is no coincidence that I am so much a reflection of you. Like, that's not a coincidence. It was what I was surrounded with my whole life. It was like, so it's, to me, it's like important to show them, even though at this age, they don't love to hear that I'm going to knit by myself for a little while. They still want mommy to be down there playing with them, hanging out. But every time it's like, no, mommy needs to go take care of herself. So I'm going to go knit and spend some time by myself, and they'll cry and they'll not like it. But at the end of the day, like, eventually that's going to.
It's so valuable, because you're saying it's important and you're teaching them to take care of themselves. That's huge.
Right. And it's like, what I need is important, just like what you need is important. So. Yeah.
And it will allow them as adults to do the same thing.
Right. Absolutely.
It's like you're basically teaching them. So yay, Mother of the Year award number 1. It comes and goes like that, though, I was
gonna say, talk to me in about an hour when we're done recording.
I know. And my friends and I used to say, darn it, we just lost our Mother of the Year award. And it's January 2nd. It was always a joke with us. Don't get too comfortable with it. It's going to get ripped away in 5 years.
I leave it at the doorstep. Okay, next question from Equestrian 636. What is your favorite yarn color combination? That's a fun one.
Oh.
I don't know that I have a favorite color combination. I have a favorite like aesthetic when it comes to yarn. Like,
you do.
Yeah, I don't know how to exactly describe it, but like,
I think we all do in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, look around my room and you'll see, you know what I mean? Yeah. Between the greens and the browns, maybe not the purple. I'm not really a big purple person, but like natural fibers.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of actually very much just like,
that's so new.
Yeah, like I just feel like I've kind of established this like aesthetic more than a color combination.
Yeah, I find for socks, I like Wild and Crazy. For sweaters, I like classic. I like classic anything that you're investing a lot of time or money into. I don't like trendy. So it's for sweaters. This is my favorite color ever for sweaters. I could have every sweater in this color, every sweater. But I tend to go with the darker, earthy, traditional. But then like shawls and mittens and hats and that's where I really love like hand-dyed yarns. And so
yeah, that's a good point. I feel like for socks, I'm kind of 50-50. I like a good natural sock, but I also like.
You do have some that are very natural. This light is really, I'm trying to think where I can.
Ooh.
You get to see my mess.
What if you scoot? Yeah, there you go. If you scoot a little bit over. But yeah, I've got this patent Croy. These socks I wear nonstop. I wash and dry them, as you can tell by the shrinkage. But they stretch out when I wear them.
But you know what? Felted socks for you up there. There's nothing wrong with it as long as they still fit.
They're so warm and they do still fit. And I love them. And this is the Hermione's Everyday Sock pattern. I knit these years ago. They're still some of my favorite socks. But then I also can't wait to cast these on. And I knit these during Christmas. So like socks for me are kind of like whatever I feel like doing at the time. But
Yeah, I like, there's something about like wild socks that are just fun.
especially if you're like very put together up top and like very neutral. And then like you sit down and cross your legs and it's just like,
Whoa.
yeah.
And it's funny because like when I went out in the world, people would be like, wow, your socks are really cool. Like people notice them, right?
Mhm.
It's like, so yeah.
Yeah. Love it. Okay, let's see.
It's an easy one.
We are only on the first page of 5.
Why don't we commit to 2 pages?
2 pages. Okay, I can do that. How do you come up? Oh, okay. So this is from Knit, Read, Play. How do you come up with the inspiration for your amazing yarn collections?
I
I feel like it kind of depends
on the season.
on the season. I feel like for Christmas, which for Halloween and Christmas, which are like our 2 real big like pop culture themed, I feel like we tend to go towards the real campy, classic films that we love to watch.
Yep.
Just
Agreed.
because it's fun because we know we're going to watch them. It's very self-serving if you think about it.
It's self-serving. It's very relatable for people. Like there's an emotional connection a lot of times to the movies. So then they want the yarn. And yeah, for those, we definitely go. We always go to movies for those 2.
And we'll like kind of look through screenshots of the film, or we'll watch the film and kind of keep our eyes open for, you know, scenes that have a really nice balance of color or really bright colors. And that's kind of where we draw for colorways, I'd say.
Yep. And then we always do holidays, always. This last collection was, and we've done this before, I think, but this one, like, because my brain is just so tired right now, I said, Chelsea, can you just gather images and tell me what you see in there?
But
and
you came up with the theme of sweet shops, though. I don't know if that just came to you.
I just candy, Valentine's Day. I love candy stores. I love candy stores. Like when we went to Universal Harry Potter World, the candy stores, I love them. The color, that's what I remember the most about Harry Potter World is the candy stores. Oh,
that was such a huge part of the books and the movies. Well, maybe not so much the movies, but like that cart on the train, like you always, and like, you know, if you are a fan of Harry Potter, you know, every candy that they've consumed.
Yes. And I personally love candy, like beyond love, like there's no word for how much I love candy.
Yeah.
There really isn't.
Yeah.
So, but I remember like, so you sent me some beautiful images and then I said, okay, can you now tell me what you see in those images? And it was a game changer for me. And I didn't always, like, I didn't go, okay, she said this, this, and this. I started with what you said, and then I let my instincts take over.
Right.
And it was beyond helpful. I remember saying to you, like, oh my God, you can't even imagine the game. It was a game changer for me for this collection. So, because I'm also then getting a different perspective, because how many times have I dyed the same color thinking it's a different color?
Totally. But after 5, almost 6 years, how could that not happen?
It does. And sometimes you can make it work because I originally dyed it 5 years ago. It's out of the queue kind of. Yeah. But yeah, it was so amazing. I'm a real collaborator. Like when it comes to being creative, I love that collaboration. Like I can have an idea, but I need more than that.
Yeah.
To tweak it and to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that's.
And sometimes it just happens.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like other, it's just, I feel like we've also just hit a rhythm because we've been in business for so long. It's like, we kind of know what to expect as the year goes on and like, okay, this is when we release this collection. So what do we want to do this year for that collection? And
And I will tell you, just as a little teaser, we have two fantastic collaborations coming up, one for Halloween and one for Christmas. We've talked about we're not doing Advents this year, but we're replacing them with fantastic. We just kind of need new and fresh. I as the dyer of all those colors, I know I don't have that in me again. And I've always said from the beginning, like, we're not going to do it if I feel that way, because you can't. I couldn't pull it off if I wanted to. So we have
I'm so excited for Christmas.
Halloween.
Halloween too, but for me, Christmas is something that I've been wanting to do for us for a long time without giving it away for so long. So I think it's going to be really, I can't wait to see it.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Again, I love collaborating. I love it. I love bouncing ideas off. I love starting with an idea and watching it explode. I love having a vision that someone else has, or someone else having a vision.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
it's
super exciting. No idea when they're going to release, not anytime soon. It's going to be when we're into the year quite a bit more. So
totally,
they are coming. Just so you know, if you're trying to allocate your funds, know they're coming.
Yes, they certainly are. It's not going to be the classic, what we've done in the past, but it will be something, I would venture to say, even better. Unique for sure. Yes. Okay. So this is Teresa, who is 307 Shadow. Oh, we kind of just answered it. Who is 307 Shadow on Instagram. How did you decide? Kind of. How did you decide to use movies and TV shows for inspiration for colorways? So what made us lean towards movies and TV shows for that?
It felt like at the beginning that was kind of a trend. Didn't you think it was a trend when we first started?
Very much. Yeah. When we entered into the business, that was just kind of what was going on. And it just felt like that was what people wanted. Mm-hmm. But that being said, we're also huge TV people. We're huge. I mean, I don't know if we should be embarrassed by saying that, but like, I love television. I love movies. I love media entertainment. I love it.
I do too. And a lot of inspiration for me, and I think for you too, comes from, like, we notice those things when we're watching television, like, especially, oh my gosh, the girls' TV. Holy cow. Like, my brain just blows up when I watch TV with them, because all I see is the design and color, and it's fabulous for little tiny kids. It's fabulous.
Totally.
So yes, it is. It is. Yeah. Yeah. And now I like the idea of having a name that, the name is really important in yarn dyeing. It's really important. Mm-hmm. So I want it to be something that has longevity, because honestly, we want our colors to have longevity. I mean, that Grinch collection, we sell year round. Because when we design Christmas collections, Halloween, they really are year-long colors. They really are. They're not specifically, they lend well to that time of year, but they also are classic.
I would say the closest thing we had to a real traditional Christmas colorway was Aunt Bethany. And that's what I knit here. And that's not even, I mean, yes, to me, it screams Christmas because I knit them during Christmas, but I mean, it's still very versatile. If you look at those speckles, like, it could be fall, it could be Christmas, it could just be a really lovely, like, cowl. Like, they are, like you said, it's not screaming green and red. And
no, for me, I can't do Christmas colors because I don't like Christmas colors. The red and the traditional red and green, just, I don't know, it just has never done anything for me. So again, they are labeled under those holidays, but they're typically colors that we use year round.
Yeah.
Year round. So
agreed. Okay, we're on page 2 this is a fun one too. From Knitting and Labradors on Instagram. What's your favorite colorway you have ever dyed?
Oh, that's such a hard one. Edward Scissorhands.
Yes, that is 100% your favorite. I would say mine is, I think it's cinnamon sticks, honestly.
Love it.
If we're talking speckled cinnamon sticks, if we're talking non-speckled, fox paws. I love foxtails, but I love the richness of fox paws.
Fox paws. Yeah, that's definitely your colorway. Edward, I could make every single thing I've made out of.
Mhm.
I've used it a lot. I've made it in the Waves of Change. What's the mohair sweater? Elton.
Yep.
I made the Elton. I would use it in everything if I could, but quite a bit of our making is to help promote colors. So you got to change it up a little.
This is like inadvertent.
I also love Cuppa. There's a lot I love, but Edward, I think, is my classic favorite.
It's
my least favorite to dye.
Really? I don't think I knew that.
I just don't enjoy dyeing it. It's not my favorite to dye. Isn't that weird?
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Interesting. All right. Knit with all the yarn on Instagram says, what's the best gift knit reception / reaction? So like when you gifted someone something knit, what was the best reaction?
You know what? I know. This Christmas for Kristen.
Oh,
when I made her towel, she was so blown away. She put it on and she never took it off. And it was just lovely. And I wanted to make it for her so badly. It was such a special gift. I just wanted her to know that she was that special, that she needed to have that. And I think that's my favorite gift that I've given.
That is such a good one. And I don't gift knits really. Like I gifted a pair of socks.
Oh, I can tell you the one, and I just pulled this out lately because I totally forgot about it. Remember you made me that gorgeous gray shawl?
Yes.
I don't even know the name of it. I woke up one night because it's been so cold and I thought, where is that? That my whole intention with that was for this weather.
I totally forgot.
It's beautiful. I went and found it. I put it with my jacket. What is
it called?
It looked really hard.
If you have it, take a picture because I don't even
remember. Take a picture because I had it with my jacket and it's beautiful and it's thicker.
I remember that being one of my first gift knits that I ever.
Yes. So I will say for you that was the best.
100% because I had totally forgotten about that. Oh my God. Gorgeous. I feel like I did it either for Mother's Day or for birthday or like intended for it to be then but finished.
I think it was Mother's Day.
Mother's Day. That sounds right. Oh my gosh. It was fun to knit too. I remember knitting it thinking like, this is so fun. I don't think it couldn't have been because I was still in Walnut Street. So I wasn't knitting hard things at Walnut Street.
You knit hard things from the beginning. You did like short, you were so, you were a really courageous, like knitter. Like you just went for it all the time.
I could also be considered naive.
Which is great.
Which is fine. I'm okay with it. Okay. So yes, I like that. Oh, knit with all the yarn. Then went on to ask, what is your all-time favorite project?
I love anything with cables. Like this was one of my favorites.
I'm going to have a very unpopular answer here because I don't have an all-time favorite project. Truly, my all-time favorite project, anytime I'm asked, is whatever I have on my needles. Because if I'm not enjoying it, it's not on my needles.
Yeah.
So because once it's done, it's done. And I love wearing all of my hand knits. Like there's not one hand knit that I love more. I mean, it's whatever I have on my needles. So right now it's the throwover.
Well, you don't just, you knit, what do you call that? You're a product knitter. You're both, but I think you are a product knitter and you knit with great intention. I don't always, I'll see something go, oh, that'd be really fun to cast on, and not, you knit with complete intention. It probably comes from, like limited income because you knit with all different yarns. Mm-hmm. So when you make a decision, you're pretty sure you're going to love it.
Well, yes, exactly. Limited resources, even as far as like time goes. So like, I'm not going to waste my time knitting something that I may or may not like, and if I start knitting something and I don't like it, it gets put away right away and I'll frog it at a later date. because I can't afford to waste that time.
Yeah. You're not a quick decision knitter. I'm a quick decision knitter. I'm an impulse.
There you go. Yeah.
You're not. Yeah.
And I always have the impulse. Like I was doing a live stream the other day and we were like, I was looking for new projects and I found like 3 new projects and everyone, like I was so excited about it. And I was like, I'm going to go cast on one of these sweaters. I didn't because it's not who I am. I always say I'm going to, but then it's like, no, I need more time to think about this. And
I would have cast it on.
I know.
I would have cast on all of them.
And see, I can't.
I know. It's better. It's better.
Well, and I can't, again, purely due to the fact that like it takes so much energy and effort for me to cast something on, like finding the needles, winding the yarn, getting the like that is an easy hour out of my day.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like I have to spend my time wisely. So I need to work on finishing what I have on my needles. That way there is nothing else that I could be working on. That way I can focus on actually starting something.
I'm jealous. Like literally, if I see you knitting on something, I have to have it. Like I have to knit because I get that like I'm so inspired by people that I can't like shut it down. It's like I could watch someone hooking a rug right now and this afternoon I'd have to be hooking a rug. Like I get so inspired by it.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Well, you end up with a lot of new things to do. Like
True. But if it brings you joy.
I know.
Which brings me to my next question from Dream Finder Lindsay on Instagram. What's currently bringing you joy? That was perfect. For me, it's daydreaming about the spring. Knitting, of course. I'm knitting like crazy because I love that. But dreaming about, I've decided, honestly, daydreaming is what always brings me joy.
I love that.
Always. So this morning I was sitting in bed and I was knitting and I was watching a podcast, looking at my plants. And I decided that for Mother's Day, I want to get a wooden picnic table for out by our tree. Because first I was watching the Elliott Homestead vlog and she has this beautiful like terrace where they have an eating area and it's just beautiful. So I was like, gosh, how could I create a space where we could eat outside and just really enjoy being outside as often as possible? And do you know where my memory brought me? To Graham's house.
I knew that.
And watching with that red checkered,
I have that
tablecloth with the plastic clips that kept them in place. I remember that was our job to clip it in place. There were the Adirondack chairs that you now have on your front porch to the right there. And the grill was right on that little brick patio. And I remember either Graham or Gramps or someone would always be carrying out the tray of food to be put on the grill. And
we ate up there always.
It was as if I had been there yesterday. My memory was so vivid. And I was like, that I want that for us. I want that. And so
I have the red tablecloth. I'll hand it down to you.
Oh my God.
It's brand new. Like
it would be so special.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
anyway.
That's heavenly. I love a wooden picnic table. I feel like because I grew up exactly like that was every night. Every night you just walked out back, you sat at the table, the wind blew it, you had your corn on the cob. I know.
The wind. I'll never forget the wind.
Yeah. So you had to have the clips.
Well, because I will always remember the wind because their clothesline was right there and they always had something on their clothesline and the wind and the sun was always playing with the clothes on there. And it was, again, it's such a vivid memory. I can't even describe to you. Like, I feel like I'm there right now.
We did it all the time. Like we were there before we had our pool, because they had a pool too. So we were there all the time.
Yes.
So yeah, that's so fun.
So that's what's bringing me joy. Just kind of daydreaming about the warmer weather while enjoying my knitting time inside. What about you?
Trying to think. Definitely a struggle lately, I will say.
I think that's a really honest answer that people will probably be happy to hear.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a struggle because what I really want to be is with all of you guys. So but I'm not one to be like, I don't mean that like, oh, poor me. Like, that's not who I am. Like, that's a waste of time in my eyes. So then I try to find what will make, like, what is it I could do to make that okay. I am an obsessive stitcher at the moment. I wish I had the piece down here that I've been obsessively stitching, my black sampler.
If you send me a picture, I can put it on the screen here.
Yes. So I think it's carving out time for myself doing things I love to do.
Mm.
And that, you know, that's something that's always been so important to me. I mean, I work a ton. So it's like when I'm not working, I want to be doing something. So, okay, I can tell you exactly what brings me so much joy right now.
What?
It just came to me. So it's winter, it's dark. It's dark early. We eat early. I get into pajamas and I go upstairs and I turn on my electric blanket. It's 6:15, let's be honest. I curl up, I have my stitching with me. I'm all cozy in bed and I stitch for hours. That's heaven to me.
Do you see my eyes drooping? I'm like, oh my God, I could fall asleep just listening to that. It sounds so peaceful.
It's so peaceful. It's quiet. I'm doing what I love. It's a sampler that is a one color sampler. I can show you the picture. I just don't have it.
Perfect.
I don't have the actual sampler with me, but it is, and we talk about it over on our floss toss. I'm almost done with it. It's gigantic. It's like 18 by 24 inches.
You're almost done.
I'm almost done.
Oh my
So the rhythm of it and believe it or not, the simplicity of it. I know it looks complicated, but it's not. It's a beautiful rhythm. And it's just like, I've earned this.
Heck yes.
So that's what's bringing me joy. Thank you. It took me a little while to get there.
That's fair. I think it would take a lot of people a little while to get there. I think that is a very honest answer. Okay. So I believe her name is Tina, right? T.S. Lorenzo on Instagram.
Yes.
Yes, Tina. That's what I thought. Okay. She said, a simple pattern for a pullover sweater, not complicated. I am a beginner. And then it looks like she might have typed more, but it might have gotten cut off. So we'll just do that. So a simple pattern for a pullover sweater.
I know exactly.
Go ahead.
Brooklyn Tweed just put out their basic raglan sweater pattern.
So Brooklyn Tweed.
Mm-hmm. Brooklyn Tweed. It's called basic raglan.
And there are a ton of really good basic raglan patterns. I'm trying to think. I feel like even the no frills,
turtle dove.
Well,
turtle dove, great one.
It's great because it's bigger yarn, so it would work up fast. But it does have like the mock turtleneck and all of that. But yeah, if you were to just do this in DK weight yarn, I mean, this is a basic raglan. The one thing you'll run into with, I think, asterisk, I'm not positive, you'll run into with any sweater is the short rows at the top of the neck. I would venture to say you could probably skip them. The fit would be a little different. You're just going to have a little bit of a higher hem in the back.
But you know what? This blah, 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 cut that part out. The thing is, we just assume that short rows are hard. If you don't know better, you're just going to do it. And you're not. So it's like that preconceived notion of, oh boy, this would have been easy, but they're short rows. That's where you, as a brand new knitter, didn't know that short rows might be hard. And you did them the first shawl you made.
It's true. It was all short rows.
Yeah. And I remember thinking, I don't know how to do that. How does she know how to do that?
I didn't know that.
I was like, short rows are so hard. Like I could do it, but I'd have to look each time. And you were just like, I'm like, there's short rows in that.
Hold the phone.
What on here?
Oh my gosh. So yeah, but those are two. Yeah, I would say try the short rows because like mom said, they're not as hard as people make them out to be. I don't think. But
I
yeah,
don't think so either. I think if the directions are there, do what the directions say. And there's probably very little purling, if any, if you're going to do it in the round, a raglan.
mhm. I also know there's a oh goodness, Cozy Comfort Raglan by Jessie May or something like that. Comfy Classic
I've heard
Raglan.
that.
So there's a couple. I will try to remember to link them down below. I'll link 3 of them that you can kind of go and look at, Tina. Okay, the last question of page 2. This is a really fun one. I know I've said that for like everyone, but I'm very much looking forward to answering this. Emily Matthews on Instagram asked, what are the best and worst parts of owning your own business?
Whew. You go.
Okay. Best part is you are your own boss. Worst part is you are your own
boss.
It takes a lot of internal motivation, intrinsic motivation, especially, and I guess, okay, so again, this is going to be the best and worst part, especially on days where you're struggling or like you don't have the energy or X, Y, and Z. Like the best and worst part of that is you can allow yourself that time and space to get to a place where you can get that done in the best way possible. But the worst part is you don't have anyone saying, tuck that to the side and get it done.
Mhm.
So it's like, it's the best and worst part.
Yeah. The best part for me is I hate to be told what to do. And I shouldn't say that. I've never worked well for someone because I'm a really good worker. So once I know a job, like I know how to get it done. I don't need to be told day after day after day how to do something, when to do it. Like I'm a very good worker. Like
Right.
I'm a worker bee. So I love that there's no one saying you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do, because we have very different jobs, you and I, right? Like we're not doing the same jobs. You're doing your job and I'm doing my job. And so it's not like someone is saying, well, did you do this or did you do that? It's like, no, we're all adults here. We all know what our job is and let's get it done. So that's the best part for me, is that we are our own bosses. We determine what our days are going to look like. The worst part is I have a really hard time shutting it off.
You do.
I have
Definitely.
a really hard time shutting it off. My brain is always going. So funny. Natalie sent both of us a text like saying, I know it's not business hours today, so I'm only asking you this because I'm thinking of it right now, but don't respond until business hours. And I was like, business hours? What are they? So it's hard. And part of it is my just one more thing issue I have.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other part is to shut off your creative brain. And that's the thing, is quite often I'm motivated to do something at an odd hour. Like that's when my motivation kicks in. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. There's no two ways about it. There's so many pluses to it, but it's hard.
Well, and it's funny. So I feel like I have the luxury of having 2 small children. So like I don't really have the option to not turn it off. Like I'm forced to turn it off more than I'm forced to turn it on. But
You're in a whole different boat.
But I also wonder, once those girls are more independent, like what that will look like for me, because I'm going to have a lot more mental space. And I think especially with an office space, like I could very much see me falling into that hole of like, okay, like if you know what I mean, like just really being more motivated to be in that brain space. Because I find a lot of, like when I worked for a corporation, when I worked for dealer.com up here, I loved working. I do. I am the person that doesn't mind. I don't like being micromanaged, which is what you described.
Yes, I
I
hate
don't
it.
like that.
Yeah.
But I don't mind taking direction from people. I don't mind being the person that is just told what to do and I do it. Like, I don't mind being that person. I actually kind of like it.
As you say that, there are times when I would love to not have to create the work.
Totally.
That that is a hard part, is always creating your own work.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
And generating your own income. It's like, oh
That
man,
part's hard too. I mean, the
that
financial
part's
stress of it,
so hard.
it's
It's
hard.
so hard to say like, whoa, it's been a slow month, so I got to buckle down and do this, this, and this. So it's that the highs and lows of business. I've owned so many businesses in my lifetime. I mean, this is everything led to this, and this is the most successful one. Yeah.
There's a lot of hard parts, a lot of great parts.
A lot of great parts.
I would say thinking about it now after a while, I would say the best part, and this probably goes without saying, but is the fact that I get to be home raising my girls while also providing a bit of an income.
Mhm.
I would say that, and that was such a gift that you gave me. I mean, that will be the best gift that I've ever been given in my whole life. So it's huge.
Yeah, I'm so thrilled that you wanted it, like, because it can't be assumed, like, because let's face it, I was home with 3 kids and there were days I would pray that I could just go out and work. Like, can I just go leave and work and have quiet? And, but like you, oh my gosh, I was so happy to be able to not miss anything. I was so fortunate. I mean, it's very hard to work from home because people don't really think you're working.
Right. Right. Some people
It's so
do.
nice to stay home with your kids.
Oh,
No. I run a business. I run a
right.
business. I own a business.
Right.
But yeah, so yeah, and we've been so blessed with the most amazing customers. Our customer base is amazing, and we're so grateful for that. I mean, I think my biggest difficulty or hurdle to get over is I'm always doing well, if I work today, I could take some time off tomorrow.
But you never take the time off.
No, because then that day I'm like, yeah, but if I get ahead today, then
Then I
maybe I
will
want to work on Thursday. So I'm working all the time, and it's on me. It's on me. I mean, you're really good for me, like, to say, Mom, just don't do anything. Like, that is really good for me.
Yeah.
But I also then wake up in a frenzy, right? It's like, oh, so there's always a ton to be done. But again, that's what we want, right? We're
Right.
not complaining about it. That's what we want. We want to be busy. And it's more like figuring out how to create healthy boundaries in your business.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Working on it. Let's just say 5 years in, we're working on it.
I think it'll be an ongoing process. I don't think it's a finish line that you ever cross. I think it's just
It definitely is. And I mean, oh my gosh, how grateful to have a thriving business during a pandemic.
yeah, it's
That's
unbelievable.
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So yeah, bottom line, I love it.
Yeah.
I love having a business where I can create every day. So I'm not just sitting doing boring work. I'm creating every day in a business.
Yeah. Agreed. I think that's very well said.
Yeah.
Well, that's the end of page 2. So we're going to need to do a part 2 of this. So
Yes.
Stay tuned to the channel. It does seem like we're falling into a bit of a regular rhythm with these episodes. So it won't be months and I'm going to say that and now it's going to be, but
you never know. But I think we're kind of like you said it perfectly. We're falling into a rhythm where it feels like, if time permits and if the girls permit, because that is the hardest piece, is you never know. We'll be here as much as possible.
yes, we will. And if you would like company in the meantime, head over to Patreon and check it out. I will have put a few little, I took some video clips from our breakfast this morning. So just little tastes of what Patreon offers throughout this video. And I'll end off with remember that little cooking segment I put on Instagram? Did you ever see it from the first cooking video?
Like recently?
I can't remember how recently, probably within the last month.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'll put that at the end, but it's just a really fun community. We're growing and I'm loving it. So I invite you all, if you're able, to come on over and hang with us.
Yeah. It's a great community. I love that community. The Discord thread alone, it's like, oh my goodness, like bleep, bleep, bleep. It keeps popping on.
Fun.
It is so fun. And it's the part that I think is amazing is every once in a while when it's beeping a lot, I'll go look and you're not even there. People are talking amongst themselves.
Oh my gosh. I feel like so many friendships have been forged, not only for me, but for like other people. And like, we talk about yarn. I have so many good recipes that people have shared over on our recipe thread. We have like a stash pack for people that don't want to buy yarn this year, but like there's a little asterisk that says like, but not including legacy fiber arts yarn.
Oh my God. I had so much fun with that group the day that we released our Valentines. Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, like they were all, and it's funny, the minute the order would come through, I'd package it up so they would get the notice right away. And then they all got them at the same time. And it was just, they are really, really a unique group of people, and they've really found each other and support each other. And it's amazing.
It's wonderful. It's like through ups and downs, personal successes and failures or struggles, we're always just there for each other. And it feels really good. And for anyone out there looking for a place to belong, like, come on over.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, everybody. Well, this has been so much fun. Like I said, keep your eyes peeled here for the part 2 of our Q&A. I'm sorry if we did not get to your question today, but we will get there.
We'll get there. It was fun. It was very fun. Oh, needles up.
So fun. Yeah, we have to do our needle. This is episode 100.
100. Oh my gosh. The
100th time we are saying to you.
That's a lot of times, even though it took 5 years.
5 years and 100 times.
Most people are on 239. Not us. 100.
100 people. All right. Okay. Until next time.
Needles up.
Needles up. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye. Oh no, how do I stop? Hi, everyone, and welcome to my kitchen. No.